Welcome to the Bird Gang Nation Sports Media Show, repping the greatest team of all time. Let's go! Bird Gang 31, he be the host with the most. We going deep, burning teams. They ain't nothing but toast. It's in your rest there. Sirianni put me in coach, running like Miles Sanders till I butt my head on the post. Touchdown! Yeah, that's coming. Devontae's crazy route running. Jalen hurting them, throwing lasers to Rager, young gunning. Come on! On the D side, we ride, sack him with Fletcher, lay him out on the stretcher. No one can protect you. Watch Darius lay him, shutting down your routes. Come on! In my green John, eating Philly cheesesteaks. Put up your cups, wings up, if you can relate. Tailgating at the link like Gangsta Stride. To the Bird Gang Nation, that's worldwide. On Sundays, catch the pre and post game. Mondays is Birds on Broad Street with Philly Notion and Cool Cat, the man in motion. And Wednesdays, the midweek special got you open with JC from Eagles Talk, hitting like B-Dog, baby.
Welcome to another episode of Bird Gang Nation Sports Talk. I'm your host, Bird Gang 31. Today, Nation, we got a very special guest in the house from Orange and Black Insider Podcast. How you guys doing today?
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm at the NFL Experience. We talked a little bit about that before we took the air, but doing well. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, man. It's another great day, talk some football, and your team is in the Super Bowl. I wish my team was there this year, but your team is there. So we're going to talk about it, you know what I'm saying? So tell me, man, did you expect this? Did you expect the Bengals to be in the Super Bowl right now? What was your expectations beginning the season?
Well, I'd be lying to you if I said yes at the beginning of the season. My prediction for it was that the team would probably be pretty competitive, and they'd probably make some sort of a playoff push, wild card push, but not necessarily, a deep playoff run. I kind of feel like this whole thing with the Bengals making a Super, I felt like that was the trajectory with Joe Burrow and company. I felt like that's where they were going to be headed, but I felt like they arrived at that destination maybe a year, 2 years before ahead of schedule, right? I felt like maybe 2022, 23 was going to be the year. And then you have a nice little window there, but now they've thrown that window open, and they've got a nice championship run window. Hopefully, a little dynasty building. We'll see what happens over the next couple of years, but yeah, I didn't expect this from the get-go for sure.
Hey man, yeah, I don't think anybody expected the Bengals to be in the Super Bowl this year. You know what I'm saying? Jamar Chase is a beast, man. What was he? Offensive Rookie of the Year? Was it Chase?
Yes, yeah. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Officially, he won the Pepsi Offensive Rookie of the Year, and then officially last night at the NFL Honors, he won the NFL Rookie of the Year. So he won that. Joe Burrow won Comeback Player of the Year. So a couple of nice awards for the two stars of the team.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's some great honors. You know what I'm saying? Chase is a beast. Burrows is a beast. We all know that. So, what's your interpretations of the Rams? How do you think they played this year?
Really, really talented team. Obviously, a team full of a lot of stars, be it from trades or free agency, that sort of thing. Obviously, they're talented to make it as far as they did. Stafford's made a difference, that's for sure. And they've been very, very good. There've been a couple of games, including where Stafford was a little careless with the football. And so, he had averaged basically, I think it was one interception per game on average in the regular season. So, I mean, he's kind of a gunslinger a little bit, but he also can make a ton of plays. So, overall, I mean, I think there are vulnerabilities there, but they're very good. They're very good on the defensive line. Their offensive line is pretty solid. They've obviously upgraded quarterback. Wide receiver core is a problem for sure. So, I mean, they've got a lot of strengths. That's for sure. But so do the Bengals.
Right. One of those, like you said, that defensive line is a monster over there. You got Aaron Donald, you got Bob Miller. You know, how do you think your offensive line shaped up this season? Because I know that is probably, if you had to say a weakness for the Bengals,
Yeah.
that would probably be it.
Well, that is the weakest part of the team, I would say. But you know, I mean, even despite that, they've come up with a couple of surprising performances in terms of being positive performances, but they've also had some real ugly outputs at times as well. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people point to the divisional round against the Titans and the nine sacks there. Yeah, so I mean, that's some of that though. I mean, there's stuff where that is that's not all on the offensive line. There's, you know, Joe Burrow running into some sacks and different kinds of things that go into that. But I mean, it's a problem. And the right guard position in particular for the Bengals has been kind of a carousel of different starters, different players. Right tackle, they had it settled with a veteran, Riley Reef, but he went out with a foot injury and he's basically missed the last half of the regular season and the postseason. So they have Isaiah Prince, a guy who's kind of a younger, been a backup type of player. So the right side of the line's been, you know, that's kind of where the questions linger.
How's that run game with Mixon? You know, that's a question we have for you here. Do you think Mixon's going to have a big game this Super Bowl?
I've been telling people, you know, if the Bengals end up winning this game, my sneaky MVP pick is going to be Joe Mixon. I know there's Burrow. I think there's Chase, there's Higgins, there's all these guys that could be very viable MVP candidates if the Bengals end up winning the game. But, you know, I think the Bengals are going to try and run the ball a little bit to slow down that Rams pass rush up front. And I think they're going to try and get the ball out quickly, maybe set up some screens and whatnot to the running back. And Mixon is, you know, a lot of people see him. He's a big guy, and they don't think he's maybe the best receiver, but he actually is very versatile, and he's a much better receiver than a lot of people give him credit for. So I think he's going to be a big factor in this game.
All right, well, give me your three biggest worries about this game.
Aaron Donald, and Aaron Donald. I mean, no, you know, I do worry about the Bengals' offensive line and how they will hold up there. I know that's a tired narrative this week, but it's one it's a narrative for a reason. You know what I mean? I do worry. The one facet that I do worry about is the Bengals haven't been great on offense in the postseason in the red zone. They've had to rely on a lot of field goals, and thankfully their rookie kicker has been absolutely amazing. Evan McPherson, he's 12 of 12 in three playoff games, 4 field goals per game. But, you know, when you've got all those weapons against the Rams, the biggest game of the year, you know, you may have a little trouble moving the ball super consistently against that defensive line. You're going to want to have you're going to want to be able to convert in the red zone, convert touchdowns instead of field goals. That's kind of going to be a big key this week.
Yeah. Give me the 3 reasons why you think or you know the Bengals will win the Super Bowl.
Well, no and think are two different things, right? You know, I kind of actually I kind of feel that Cincinnati, I don't know that I'm sitting here saying, you know, they will win the game, but I have a kind of a feeling that they have a very good chance to. They very well could win the game. So the reason why I think that is just who they've beaten, the venues they've beaten those teams in, and you know, just the different ways they find ways to win. You know, when you look at how they swept both Baltimore and Pittsburgh, they blew those teams out by passing a ton and putting up the Madden-like stats and whatnot. When you look at wins against the Raiders and these wins in the postseason, it's been a lot of methodical turnovers on defense, you know, come from behind big deficits, things like that have, you know, kind of been the tail of the tape a little bit.
Yeah. You know, the Bengals definitely been doing their thing. I've been watching you guys from afar. You guys definitely been handling your business over there. Let's see. So what kind of what do you think it's going to do? Like, what kind of offensive scheme you guys have to run? Do you think you need to just ground and pound it since they do have so much talent on the offensive side of the ball? You want to keep time management and whatnot, by running Mixon and get him in the fold? Or do you think you just do what you do and just hope for the best?
Well, I think you have to balance things out a bit. I mean, you want to get the ball in your playmakers' hands, Higgins, Chase, etc. Jalen Ramsey's a force in the secondary, but I think there's other points to exploit in that secondary. So I think you got to get the ball in your playmakers' hands, but you also want to play a little bit of keep away. You want to make sure that you don't turn the ball over and get careless with it. That's one of the things the Bengals have been pretty good about this postseason, and really in the last half of the season is not, kind of hanging onto the ball, not being careless with it. So, I think those are some of the keys for them. And, I don't know if ground and pound is going to be the key, but do not be surprised if you do see a lot of early down runs, a lot of runs with Mixon early in the game, maybe to kind of set things up later. If you look at the last part of the Chiefs game in the championship round, they ran Mixon a lot on early downs. It wasn't overly successful, but then when you go back and look at how they ended up winning that game, the late drives, there were a couple of timely runs by Mixon, especially in that overtime drive to win it. A couple of gashing runs that I think were set up. They were set up pretty early in the game by running on those early downs and just kind of wearing out a defense. So I do think there's going to be play action. I do think there's going to be all of that, but Burrow's going to take his shots, and I think there's going to be some early quick hitters to guys like Chase and whatnot.
If you guys win, who's going to be your offensive player of the game and your defensive player of the game, you think?
Offensive player of the game would be Mixon, like I said, and defensive player of the game, don't be surprised if it's someone like a Trey Hendrickson or Sam Hubbard, one of the edge defenders. Sam Hubbard's been a guy. Stafford's not quite the scrambler of a or Tannehill.
No, we got some technical difficulties. He's in there, guys. He's worried about his team winning the Super Bowl this year. You know what I'm saying? It's probably pretty jam-packed in there. The reception probably not that good. So who do you guys think? You guys let me know in the chat who you guys think will win the Super Bowl and who will be the star MVP of the game and who will be the defensive MVP of the game. You guys go ahead and do that. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe to both channels. Birdgame 31 on the road to 3K, and then Orange and Black Insiders. I agree with you, Drew. I think they have to start fast and get on that scoreboard early if they're going to win this game. We'll see if he can get back that service again because he broke out there. He broke out there. Are you with us? Are you back? Oh, yeah, 1 second.
Can you hear me?
Oh, now I can. Yeah, you broke out there.
Okay. Sorry about that. I went to a different wing of this place here, and I think service isn't as great, so I apologize there. But what I was kind of saying, I think, before you lost me was just look at some of the ancillary players. I know there's now some names that are getting some household recognition, I guess, for the Bengals in terms of some of their players on defense, some of their players on offense. But like I said, a Hubbard or maybe a player in the secondary for the Bengals on defense, I think those will be guys that can come in and make a few plays and surprise some people.
If you guys do win the Super Bowl, what will you be doing down in LA night of the Super Bowl? Yeah, let us know.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to the game yet or not. I've been monitoring ticket prices, and man, oh man, they are sky high. So
I'm sure there's a lot of places around there you can go watch some good football at.
Yeah, as of now, I'm probably going to watch with some family and friends and whatnot and just kind of have a good time doing that way. But
are you from LA or are you from Cincy?
Just south. I'm actually from Orange County, which is just south of LA.
Oh, nice.
If you know where that is. Yeah, it's kind of in between, San Diego's further south and then there's Orange County, and then there's LA. So that's where I live, and that's where I'm from. I'm actually not from Cincinnati.
I'm from LA personally.
Oh, are you? Okay. So
yeah, I moved from San Luis Obispo County.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
you know.
I know how it is. I know how it is. That's why I'm saying there's some party life going on, especially the Bengals.
Yeah,
either way, whichever team wins the Super Bowl, somebody's gonna be partying.
That's right, and it's funny. I always ask myself, because I cover the team and I do all that, but I'm also a fan at heart, and I always ask myself, I don't know what I would do if the Bengals made the Super Bowl. I never knew what, would I party? Would I go to the game? And here we are a couple days before, and I still am like, I don't know what I want to do here. I don't know how I want to celebrate. I don't know how I really want to watch it. And so it's something I didn't prepare for. It's been 33 years,
I would at least, because I remember the Eagles. That's how it was for us for the Eagles, man. I think I was 33 or something when we finally won it, So it's like it was all my life waiting for the opportunity to be like, hey, my team's the champion. So, you know what I'm saying? I was out at the local bar, and I must have bought shots for everybody. I was like, you get a shot, you get a shot, you get a shot. They're looking at me crazy because, like, I'm in the South now, and, like, these guys don't even care about pro football like that. So they're just like, what are you doing? I'm like, you get a shot, you get a shot. We won, baby. Woo! You know what I'm saying? So that feeling is definitely irreplaceable.
Yep. I don't know if I'll be as generous as you, but maybe I'll do something generous like that. I don't know.
So, well, give me a score prediction, my guy. What do you think? How much you think the Bengals going to win by if you guys win in there? Give me a nice little score prediction.
Well, yeah, like I said, I don't know that I'm not saying the Bengals will win. I've said, I think the Bengals very well could win this game, and I think there's a reason why the Rams are favored. I think there's a reason why all that, a lot of people are picking the Rams at this point. But, like I said, I think the Bengals are just kind of sneaking up on people. They continue to embrace that underdog mentality a little bit. And they've just done so many things this year and slayed so many demons, like, the playoff game itself, winning a road playoff game, getting to the Super Bowl, all of that. Just a very special season, and it's kind of that team of destiny thing. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of what I feel about it here. And I think if the Bengals do win, I think it's going to be real tight. Looking at something 23-20, 26-23, something like that. If the Rams win, I think it'll still be pretty close, but I think the point margin might be a little bit bigger than that, maybe a 5 or 6 point margin if the Rams win. But it would not surprise me if the Bengals sneak this one out.
Now, the devil's advocate. Now, say you guys don't win. What would you think that Bengals need to do in this upcoming draft and free agency to get over the hump next year?
They will need to address the offensive line heavily, the interior of the offensive line, whether that's some in-house players that they're trying to develop or, drafting more free agency, whatnot. They'll need to do that. They will need to, they need to figure out what's going on with CJ Uzomah. He's an impending free agent. So, you're going to want to probably re-sign him. He's become a team leader. So that's one of the guys that you want to key in on as your own, kind of keeping your own type of thing.
Is Higgins and Boyd both free agents too?
No, Higgins was drafted last year, so he's still on his rookie deal. Boyd, I think, has another year on his contract. So they're set at wide receiver. It's addressing tight end. It's addressing offensive line. Maybe a linebacker or two, but I think a lot of people are saying this team is, one of the weaker teams to recently make the Super Bowl, but I just think people aren't really, quite honestly, well educated on this team.
And I put no respect in your name.
Yeah, and I kind of also think that the sum of the parts is greater than the whole, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like it feels like they work really well together. This group. They have a great camaraderie. They work well off of each other on both sides of the ball. So it's just working for them. I mean, there's definitely areas of improvement. I'm not saying this is a perfect team, but for sure, I mean, offensive line, probably a 3-technique defensive tackle next to their big nose tackle, DJ Reader, making sure they get, kind of an interior pass rusher like that. Tight end, you got to figure that out. And, like I said,
draft the tight end though?
We the Bengals drafted a tight end, Drew Sample, in the second round back in 2019. He's been a little bit of a disappointment from that standpoint. And like I said, CJ Uzomah, their starting tight end, his contract is up after this year. So, I think they've got a couple of areas to shore up, most definitely. But like I said, I think they're pretty well positioned in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Hey, man, the Bengals looking good. Like I said, yeah, maybe shore up that offensive line. You say tight end, but you definitely got those skill position players in lock. You know what I'm saying? Because Mixon and what's his name? Perrine?
Oh, Samaje Perine. Yeah.
Perine.
I don't remember Perine's contract offhand, but yeah, Mixon, they just signed to a long-term deal last offseason. So he's got another couple of years on his deal as well. So he's in the fold for a little bit. So, and then they just drafted a kid out of Michigan this last draft, Chris Evans, a really versatile guy, a good pass catcher. And so he's a guy that they like a lot and has a good future for the team. But yeah, I mean, they like I said, they're pretty well positioned. And one of the things that I think why a lot of people thought that this team wasn't going to do much this year is because they look at their past records recently and they say, oh, this team just wasn't very good. Well, they also were very injured the last couple of years. A lot of important players were very either severely injured or out of the lineup for big periods of time or whatnot. So, I think this year they finally got healthy, and some people are like, wow, how did this team get here? Well, they invested in free agency over the past couple of years. Their draft picks have worked out. And oh, by the way, they finally were healthy this year. So,
right. Last year probably more because Burrows was hurt.
That was a big one. Yeah, that was a big one. And AJ Green wasn't the AJ Green of old. They relied on him last year. And, you had some offensive line injuries. You had some other injuries at the get-go. DJ Reader, that nose tackle I mentioned, he missed quite a bit of time. So, they were just they were banged up.
You miss AJ at all?
Sentimentally, I do. But, old Uno has made us forgot about him pretty quick. So I respect the hell out of what AJ did and what kind of career he had in Cincinnati. But, it was time. It was time for him. It was time for the Bengals to get some fresh blood, and obviously it paid off. And, hey, AJ had a pretty good year with the Cardinals, too, as a secondary receiver there. He had a decent season, so I was happy to see that, and he made the postseason as well. Couldn't be happier for that guy. But it kind of worked out well for both parties, I think.
Do you want him to come back and retire a Bengal?
The Bengals don't normally do that, but what they did institute this last offseason was a ring of honor for the first time, where they bring in past greats and, do the jersey deal and put them up on the stadium and all that. So I'd like to see him back for that, for sure. Him and Whitworth and a couple other guys still out there playing. They deserve that.
In the next 2-3 years, do you see Burrows winning the MVP?
Yes, 100%. Yes. I quite honestly, I thought he was very deserving of it this year. Not just taking anything away from Aaron Rodgers, but if you look at what he did, and Green Bay is consistently there, right? Green Bay has consistently been there, and Aaron Rodgers is a major reason for that, for sure. Okay, major reason for that. But there's, like I said, this team had 6 wins and a tie the previous 2 seasons combined. So, the fact that they've got 10 regular season wins and 3 postseason wins, that kind of says a lot. And it's in Joe Burrow's second year, not even a second full season because of the injury, coming back from that injury, all of that. I kind of feel like he maybe got slighted a little bit out of that MVP, but regardless, I feel like he's going to be in that conversation quite often if he keeps up this same career trajectory.
Yes, sir, man. They're good, man. That's good, man. That's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Go ahead. I know you're busy in there. You're going in and out. Go ahead and give me 3 hot takes for the game.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you again for having me on here. I apologize if it's noisy or if I'm cutting out a little bit. Don't mean to do that. I know how that can be frustrating. Good. So I apologize if that's happening. But 3 hot takes for the game, huh? Oh boy. I will say CJ Uzomah has 100 yards and a touchdown, even though he's coming back from an injury. I will say Cooper Kupp is held to under 100 yards receiving. And I will say the Bengals offensive line, or the Bengals themselves, let up 2 or less sacks.
That would be nice. That'd be nice right there.
And I think all of that
Like
I think all that equals a dub, right?
that sounded like a dub to me. Or maybe the
I think
second
that's a
one
dub.
didn't sound like a dub because you got to realize OBJ's been balling out these last couple of games. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think who would have a bigger impact, OBJ or Cooper Cup? Who are your two cornerbacks, like, going to be? Who's going to be governing these two guys?
Chidobe Awuzie is one of the starting corners, and actually Eli Apple. The Bengals invested in Trey Waynes, and they invested in Trey Waynes, but he's been injured and a little bit of frankly, a disappointment. So they've had to make do with Eli Apple, and so Eli Apple though has played pretty well after having kind of some struggles with previous teams and whatnot, being a former high pick. He's actually played pretty well for the Bengals the last half of the season and in the postseason. So they're happy with him, and then of course they've got Mike Hilton, the former Steeler. He's their slot corner. So, and he's been playing very well also. So that trio of corners is playing really well. And then they've got Jesse Bates and Von Bell as the safeties. So those two are working in tandem very well also.
This guy says Rams get 6 sacks, still lose.
That's a hot take right there. That's a hot take,
Chase
yeah.
gets shut down by Ramsey. Stafford throws 3 picks. How do you see that matchup playing now between Chase and Ramsey?
It's going to be a battle. I think quite honestly, both are going to get theirs. I think Chase will have a couple of plays there. I don't think Ramsey's going to completely shut him down, but I don't think Chase is going to completely do what we've seen him do to other corners. I think, like I said, I think it's a big game for Mixon. I think Higgins, who's a very good player, but doesn't get as much run as Chase. I think Higgins has a really big game with his matchup and size in this one. So I think Chase will get his. I think Ramsey will get his as well. But I think the matchup to watch is Higgins on the other corner.
Do you think Higgins is a legit number 2, or do you think that
Yes.
this offseason, with all these good free agent receivers out there, that you guys wouldn't mind bringing in another one?
Nah, I think the Bengals are set at their top 3 receivers. Boyd's their slot guy. Boyd's their slot guy. Higgins is their number 2 guy, and Chase is their number 1. So they're pretty set.
All right, man. But hey, man, any final thoughts before we get you out of here? I'm gonna let you get back to your fun out there in LA. I like it.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. Sorry, it's it's a little wild in this thing here, and but it's fun. But I wanted to make sure I made some time for you. I apologize, I moved it around a little bit, but it's good chatting some ball with you.
It's all good, my guy. Thanks again. And you guys make sure you guys go subscribe to the Orange and Black Insider podcast. Man, they do great work over there. That's why I had to get them on before the Super Bowl, so we can hear their take. He says
Sorry about that.
he got the Bengals winning close. You know what I'm saying? He got the Bengals winning close. Let's see if the Bengals can go out there and get their first Super Bowl and step up their game a little bit. Watch out for next year. Hey, much love to you, my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Have
Appreciate
a great night. And hey, go win that W. Go get that W.
All right. Let's hope.
All right.
See ya.
Later. Yeah, man. So you guys see it, man. The Bengals definitely got an opportunity to this Sunday. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to debate still if I'm going to be, streaming this game. I was thinking about doing some play-by-play. You guys let me know if you guys want to see some play-by-play by Bird Game, and I'll get that done. Much love to you guys. Guys wanted to give you guys a quick little, Super Bowl highlight there. I see in the chat, you guys are going with this whole Russell Wilson thing again, man. Russ ain't coming to Philly. He got no trade clause. He's not coming to Philly. I don't see that happening. And it still hurts season for at least one more year, guys. Hurts meant you backing him up. I can see that happening going into this season. Like I tell you guys got to say, any kind of, decision you want to make on Hurts, I think you guys should wait to the end of next year to make that decision, because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait and see. If he does not develop this offseason, he comes into another season where he's not playing top flight ball, you know what I'm saying? Then we'll talk about getting ourselves another quarterback. But for right now, Hurts has definitely earned a spot. You guys want Russell Wilson over there. Russell Wilson had 35 3,100 yards. Jalen Hurts had 3,100 yards. He had 26 touchdowns. Jalen had 16. And then Jalen had another 800 yards on the ground with 10 more touchdowns. So he got 26 touchdowns. You're talking about the same player. That was the worst season Russ had, and he had more talent, better coaches, more established coaches, and a better team overall. So I think, we need to pump our brakes on a new quarterback. Let's go complete our team. You know what I'm saying? We made it to the playoffs, which is, short of a miracle, and let's go finish building this team. Let's go get us some linebackers. Let's go get us some safeties, some nice young pieces that we can add to the mix, that can be some game changers. You know what I'm saying? Let's go get some new receivers, some new targets, new weapons for Jalen Hurts. And then if he goes into next season, guess what? If he can't do the job, guess what? We'll find someone the next year in the draft to do that job. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted to holler at you guys a little bit. I just seen that in the chat. He says Hurts is rehabbing. Russ beyond this online. We would have owned the NFC East with Russ. Yeah, you can say that, but Russ couldn't even own his own division. He was bottom. He was bottom of the basement. 3 teams out of the West went, and neither one of them were Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. You know what I'm saying? So 3 teams. We had 2 teams come out of the East, and the Eagles were one and the Cowboys were another. So, winning is a big thing for me. They didn't win as many games. Russ had pretty much the same stats as Jalen when you look at overall stats. I think Jalen even had a better passing percentage, So it's like you gotta look at the ins and outs. You want someone that's not even better. They didn't even have a better year. Didn't have as good as weapons. Didn't have as good as coaches. You know what I'm saying? You want him for the name. You want him for what he's done. I've heard a couple of podcasts talk about how Russ is even over. He's on a decline. He got a lot of other things going on. He's gotten his big paycheck. He's on the, he got other things going on in his life to the point where it's like, at least we got Jalen Hurts, 23 years old. You know what I'm saying? Pro Bowl alternate, Toyota Player of the Year, it's 26 touchdowns and 4,000 yards. Like, that's good. That's a good first year for any quarterback. You put his numbers against Vig, McNabb, any Eagles quarterbacks to the first 19 games, and you're going to see that his numbers are right there. And he said, Russ got a ring. He's hungry for 2. Yeah, but look how long ago that ring was. If he was really that hungry, don't you think the Seahawks would have been in the playoffs this year? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he's that hungry, he should have been winning more games this year. He played a lot of garbage football, too, this year. So, I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is that guy. I'm just saying he's that guy for next year. Next year, he don't develop. Yes, Mr. Bergen, he got to develop, and he can even be better than Russell Wilson. The ceiling with Russ right now. You watched him play the last couple of years. He's a good quarterback. He's on a decline. Last year was his first declining season. We don't know if that's going to continue, or we don't know if he's going to pick it back up. But what we do know is he had a better team and more coaches. So we don't know about Jalen Hurts at the moment right now. When Russ won his Super Bowl, he had the best defense in the league. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't have to put the game on his shoulders to win it. He was just out there doing what he needed to do. That defense handled a lot of that. There's been plenty of quarterbacks that won Super Bowl because they had elite defenses. And I think this offseason, the Philadelphia Eagles have a chance to get that elite defense. You know what I'm saying? I want to go get Chandler Jones. You know what I'm saying? Go get Von Miller if he wins the Super Bowl. Go bring him to here for a 1 or 2 year deal. Let's go get some guaranteed bona fide studs instead of guys like Kerrigan that, only got 3 sacks in the playoffs. Let's go get somebody that's ready to play some ball, can do it at a high level. We got nice free agent receivers, nice free agent cornerbacks, nice free agent safeties, and nice free agent DNs. And then go, build your linebacker core throughout the draft. You don't have to double dip in that first round with that. You can get one of those studs at 15 or 16, turn around in the second round, get another stud. There's a lot of great linebackers coming out of this draft, man. This draft is really heavy on all the positions that we need. You know what I'm saying? So, it is what it is. We're going to see what happens. He said Russ' arm was way stronger than Hurts. No, I can't even say that. I would say it's more accurate. He's more accurate than Hurts. As you see, like, he was overthrown. That deep ball to Quez in the playoff game, that was a 70-yard ball. So the arm strength is not Jalen Hurts' problem. A lot of people say that. It's not his arm strength. I think a lot of those passes that come up short, he's just trying to get too pretty with. He thinks he's in college again where he can just, like, loft it over there. But in terms of him actually having arm strength, I don't see that being a problem with Jalen Hurts. I think he can throw the ball just as well as anybody else. Now, his accuracy, his decision-making, his timing on when he's throwing these balls, all that stuff can be worked on. That's for sure. Get Wilson for what? A playoff game, use up all of our sap. Exactly. Exactly. We will be broke. We will have no freaking picks in the first round. Our team will be the same, and we're not getting past the first round of the playoffs again next year for Russell Wilson. You've seen it happen this year. The elite team and the Rams are in the Super Bowl for a reason. They did what Tampa Bay did. They loaded up. They had elite talent at all levels of the game. All phases of the game, on offense, on defense. Three good receivers, two or three good tight ends, three good running backs. You know what I'm saying? Like an offensive line stack, defensive line stack, linebacker stack, secondary stack. That was a complete team Tampa Bay won with last year. And you seen the Rams go out and they seen the blueprint and they did that themselves this year. And that is why they are in the playoffs. Now, I don't believe that the Bengals will win. I'm happy that they're there. I think they have the talent to win. Stafford can be Stafford. He can pull a Stafford type game, but I really think, with all that money they put into that team and they did a great job with it, I think the Rams can probably take it. You know what I'm saying? He said edge rush first round. That'd be nice to get an edge rush first round. We see it. Sauce, Dean, Jermaine Johnson were the top defense next year. That'd be working on being the top defense next year. That for sure. You know what I'm saying? I like all those players. Those players are ballers. I really do like Sauce, man. I really hope that we can get Sauce. If not him, Elam or Leaf Boot. One of them three. I'm not really too high on Stingley. He didn't play too good this year, so I'm not too high on him. But yeah, those guys. As long as we get one of the big three, I don't care if it's Dean Harris or, what's his name, Lloyd. I don't care which one of them. Get one of those linebackers. If it was me, if I was Howie, I'll double dip. I'll work on everything in the free agency. Since you have free agency for that, you have the money to do that. Work for everything in free agency and go double dip at linebacker. You have two stud linebackers for the next 5 years on your football team, and that would be awesome. He go then sign Marcus Williams. Yes, exactly. Marcus Williams. I'll sign the Honey Badger too. I'm big on the Honey Badger. I think the Honey Badger would be a great fit in our defense, man. He can move all over the place. He can guard people. I think either one of those two safeties will be good. Hurts. Who's cannon? Hurts. Who's cannon? Yeah. But he's gonna tighten it up, man. I'm telling you guys, it's all you guys see how hard the man works. I think he's gonna come back hard, stronger, and better than ever this next year. You know what I'm saying? Pro Bowl is gonna be a legit thing for Jalen Hurts. He will be a quarterback that's in the Pro Bowl every year. Like his talent's there. He does have to work on reading defenses. He does have to work on some accuracy. He does have to work on some timing. But all quarterbacks go through that their first year starting. I'm not saying this is his first year, but it was his first year starting. And that's what you compare it to everybody else. Their first year starting. And you can pair him up there. He's top 10 easily out of any quarterback that ever played football. How can you be, better than most quarterbacks ever in your first year starting and still think that, he doesn't have any capability of getting better? We've seen him get better throughout the season. And I think that's definitely going to go ahead and do it. Those balls in the playoff game, I was happy to see Hurts lay the ball. Exactly. There were some overthrown balls. It showed that he does have the arm. And he played the last 4 games on the messed up ankle. You know what I'm saying? So the messed up ankle is going to affect your passing. It's going to affect your accuracy. It's going to affect, being able to push off in the throws or even set up right, for those type of throws, precision throws. So he was playing hurt for us because he's a soldier, and that's what Hurts does. So, we gotta let him heal. We gotta let him work this offseason. Let's see what we have next year. Like I said, next year comes, if we pick these players I know we can pick to and add to our team and become that team that I know we can become, man. And Hurts just isn't the guy because he's looking the same as this year. Then I'll be on board with you guys. Be like, hey, let's go get one of these quarterbacks in the draft. We don't have to trade back any of these first round picks to get a quarterback next year in the draft. If Hurts is not that guy, we're not going to win that many games. And even if we do, we'll be around the 15, 16 mark again next year, going into the draft. And then you just go, trade the future first round pick and move up. You can use both picks that way and move up. You don't have to use picks this year to get picks next year to move up that way. We can keep these picks, build our team like we need to build them, And then if Hurts not the guy, we will be a quarterback away at that point, and we can go do it. What up, further? How you doing? Yeah, I realize how loaded we are. That's what I'm saying. Like, I won't worry about Hurts. I won't worry about trading none of no picks. I ain't worried about giving up none of these money for none of these top flight quarterbacks. And any one of these quarterbacks, you're talking about an Aaron Rodgers, maybe if we went out and got Deshaun Watson, which I'm not a fan of. I don't know if he's even going to play or if he, like I don't even know his situation like that. I don't think he's going to be playing this year, if not the first 6 games at least. So why not? I don't want a Rodgers. I know it'll bring instant, gratification for us this year. But guess what? 2 years down the road, when Rodgers just decides he wants to make commercials for the rest of his life, we're gonna be stuck again looking for a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurts is only 23 years old. You can mold him. You can get him better, and he can be our future. But you gotta give him that time. You know what I'm saying? Like all quarterbacks, some of them take 3 years, some of them take 2 years, some of them take three. 4 years. It doesn't matter. There's different time lengths for different quarterbacks, but we got to give Jalen this second year, and let's see what he does. If he gets better next year, we still don't go that deep in the playoffs. We look at coaching. That's going to be another thing. The coaches got to develop. We got to call better plays. We got to get people more open. You take the whole Drew Brees situation. Drew Brees was a good quarterback when he was in San Diego, but they were worried about him injury-wise. They were worried about his arm strength and all some of the same things that we worry about with Hurts. And he wasn't running like Hurts can run. They traded him to New Orleans. New Orleans won a Super Bowl because they were with a great play caller in Sean Payton. It does fall on the play calling as well. You got to set these guys up for success. You got to know the rhythm of the game. You got to know the flow of the game. We have rookie coaches, and obviously they showed their rookiness. And, that's all we can go off of. So we'll see what happens with these guys. I think, sky's the limit for Hurts. Like I said, I think he will be a Pro Bowler next year. Not an alternate, but a real Pro Bowler. I think we're going to win some football games if Howie Roseman, does what he has to do. And I also want to let you guys know, be on the lookout because I am going to be dropping some short videos. I'm not sure if it's going to be actual shorts or just short videos. I'm going to be giving my tape. It's going to be called My Wish List to Howie. And it's going to be just every player that I think that can really impact this team, and take this team to the next level next year so we can be in contention for a Super Bowl again. I want another one. It was awesome when we finally got one. And I think that, we do have a lot of young talent on this team. And, they just need to finish developing and with some nice new pieces, especially at that linebacker position, at our safety position. I think the sky's the limit for the football team next year. So, like I always say at the end of my videos, shout out to all you guys for stopping by. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And like I always say, he said, there's a team with no first-round picks, my guy. Yeah, there are teams with no first. Look at the Rams. They don't have a first-round pick for a long time. I think they're a team that don't have one. But they sacrificed it for the talent now. That's what you do. You sacrifice it for talent now, or you develop talent. I think you got a case of both inside the playoffs right now. You got, the Bengals that just had really crappy seasons, so they had a lot of, high picks in the draft, and now those picks are turning out. Like the guy said last couple of years, they've been really hurt a lot, and this year they were healthy. It just really takes a healthy year. Imagine if we had all our players healthy all year. We could have probably won a couple more games, with the right coaching, with the right, scheme and whatnot. So, like I said, man, fly, Eagles, fly. We're definitely going to be talking about this. I will do a late night with Bird Game tomorrow night. We will discuss more of this. We will talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. And, we'll go ahead and go over some final thoughts about the Super Bowl and, like, what the team needs to do. So, be on the lookout for that. Fly, Eagles, fly. Till next time, this Bird Game 31. I'm out. Peace.